G'day guys and welcome back to your English Aussie. Today is game week 38, the last game week of the season, and I'm going to go through all the possibilities for which teams can still qualify for Europe, who's already on the beach, all the best players to buy, all the best players to take a punt on for one game week, all the best players to hold, and who you should be looking to sell for game week 38. Don't forget to tune into my live stream this week where I will be helping all subscribers win their mini leagues. I will be looking at your rivals' teams, suggesting the best transfers to make and what teams you should pick. Make sure you're subscribed below so you don't miss out on that, and a potential giveaway in game week 38 to thank you all for being great subscribers this year. Without further ado, let's jump straight into it. So starting off here, and we have a little Premier League table here. You can see that the top 5 will qualify for the European Champions League this year due to the performance of English clubs. They have 5 places in the Champions League. 6th place gains entry to the Europa League. And then 7th and 8th spot is where things get interesting. The 7th spot will be a Conference League spot to the team that finishes there, unless Chelsea end up finishing in 7th position and win the Conference League. If that occurs, then the Conference League spot will go to the next highest placed team in the Premier League, which will be the 8th spot. So Chelsea, if they win the Conference League, will automatically qualify for the Europa League, and therefore their spot, if they finish in 7th, will then go to the next highest qualifier, which is 8th spot, which could be Brighton, Brentford, or Bournemouth. So for Chelsea to finish 7th, it would mean that Nottingham Forest would have to beat them, and Aston Villa, Man City would have to pick up some points. A very possible possibility that could happen. So Brighton, Brentford, and Bournemouth still have everything to play for. And first up on this defender list is Ezri Konsa of Aston Villa. Aston Villa again have another fantastic fixture, 2 in a row. Hopefully those of you that listened to me last week brought in Ezri Konsa for his 15-point haul for Aston Villa, scoring a goal and also keeping that clean sheet. Villa again this week have a great fixture against Man United, who will have all their eggs in the Europa League basket midweek. If they do manage to win that match against Spurs, expect them to be celebrating and not being concerned with a game week 38 fixture. Next up on this list is Ben White and Kiwior of Arsenal. Arsenal play against Southampton this week, and despite the fact that they have already all but mathematically wrapped up 2nd place, I would expect Ben White to be playing for Arsenal, given the Saliba slight knock he picked up in the previous game. Timber not 100% fully fit yet, and also obviously Gabriel still out with injury. Expect Kiwior to start as well. He's had a nice little run in the team, and they'll want to continue to give him minutes, as he looks like a very capable understudy for Gabriel and Saliba when either of them do miss out. Next up on this list is Josko Gvardiol and Ruben Diaz. Now, Josko Gvardiol will be playing in that left-back role for Man City, which really allows him to get up and down that wing and get that potential for those attacking returns. Now that Akanji's come back into that centre-back role, Man City have been playing really well and have had looked really good defensively ever since Gonzalez has come into the base of that midfield and signed for them. They don't have the easiest game week in Fulham this week. However, Fulham, despite their 3 goals last week, haven't been scoring too many goals recently. Next up is Milos Kerkez and Dean Hodgson of Bournemouth. Now, this is a caveat to if Bournemouth do manage to get a result against Manchester City this week, they will still be in with a shout for that 8th spot and a potential European Conference League spot. They do have a nice fixture this game week up against Leicester. Jamie Vardy is out for Leicester. He got his 200th goal in his 500th game for Leicester this season last week, but he will not be playing in game week 38. It was written in the stars for him, but Leicester with one less attacker where they've already struggled scoring goals looks like nice for a defensive clean sheet and potential attacking returns for Kerkez. Next up on this list are the Newcastle defenders. Notoriously have been difficult to pick between this season for which one you should go for. I am not going to hazard a guess at who is going to be the one, who's going to outscore who. My pick would probably be Dan Burn, but honestly, anyone is up for grabs here. Dan Burn obviously coming in at 4.5 million rather than Shah, who's up at about 5.5 million. Is maybe saves you a little bit of money. Livramento coming in at around 4.4 million as well. Newcastle obviously play against Everton, who have struggled scoring goals more recently. Finally, on the buy list, we do have Aaron Wan-Bissaka of West Ham. West Ham have a really nice fixture against Ipswich, who did just go down 2-0 to Leicester last week. Wan-Bissaka's been flooding forwards for West Ham, and you've got to see through the anger that they had in that Nottingham Forest match, and how much they showed they really did want to get a result. They really still are playing for things this season, despite them not having anything to play for in the league. They are trying to win all their games, and therefore I do think Aaron Wan-Bissaka is still a nice shout. In the sell section, we do have Konate and Trent of Liverpool. Liverpool are completely and utterly on the beach at the moment. Unsure even if Konate starts. Trent probably unlikely to start. Liverpool are rotating massively at the back with Bradley, Tsimikas, Quansah and Konate starting last week in their back four. Pretty much very unlikely to keep a clean sheet. Playing against Crystal Palace in the last week, who probably also are not really anything to play for. However, I expect Palace to put forward still some strong resistance. Liverpool probably a poor fitness, as you saw last game week. They did struggle in the second half, and that's just because they haven't been training and playing recently. In the hold section, I think really if you have any of these other defenders, I think the transfers are better off spent in your midfield and forward line for those big hitters this week. However, if you do have any of these defenders, I'd probably just hang on to them and look to transfer out somebody else. Guys, if you do enjoy this video, please remember to smash that like button. It really does help this video go out to more people. Subscribe down below if you haven't already to stay up to date with more great stuff, and be involved in my live stream where I will be reviewing all my subscribers' teams and informing them who they should be looking to pick and how they can look to win their mini leagues. Happy to review your mini league rival and suggest what players you should be playing as well. Finally, I have set up a new shop on Fourth Wall. If you could check it out, there's a lot of football fan merchandise. If there's something that you would like there, and you want to buy. If you have any suggestions on what you'd like included, comment down below, and I'll look to bring it out. I'm still working through the sort of design phase of this website at the moment, but it is live now. We do have some quite nice and interesting designs for you guys. It will also be linked in the description below. Without further ado, let's move on to the midfielders. First up in my tier 1 buy section is Jarrod Bowen, obviously been just in fantastic form. As I mentioned, West Ham still playing hard, still trying to win games. You can see by the fire in the belly they had against Nottingham Forest last week, really wanting to win, causing a big ruckus. Jarrod Bowen has been in fantastic form over the last 4 or 5 weeks, killing me in fantasy, but I would definitely recommend putting him in your team if you can. Most likely is going to be someone I look to move for this week. Next up is Morgan Gibbs-White. All that we know is Nottingham Forest need to win this week. They need to win to get into that Champions League spots. They will be trying to score goals, and who better than their captain himself to lead them into the Champions League next season. Morgan Gibbs-White's been a fantastic player for Nottingham Forest, and he is my pick of their midfielders this week. Next up is Yankuba Minte and Ayari of Brighton. I have, again, like the Gibbs-White pick, looked for a few little one-week punts this week. With Brighton playing against Spurs, who, again, throwing all their eggs in the Europa League basket in midweek. Probably not caring much about this game week 38. And Brighton, obviously, still playing for that 8th spot. At the moment, are in 8th spot in the table, looking to lock that down for some potential European football. Minte and Ayari have been playing recently for Brighton, have been on the score sheet. I would consider Kaoru Mitoma as well, although his minutes have been quite limited of late, perhaps not back to full fitness. Next up on this list, another punt for 1 week is Leandro Trossard. Now Arsenal have secured second spot in the league, pretty much without losing 6-0 and City winning 6-0. I think Leandro Trossard is probably the way to go for me. There is potential for him to just rest Saka for the last week of the season. It doesn't seem like there's much point in playing him, given he's been recovering from that hamstring injury. So Leandro Trossard is somebody that I would look at. He's been in really good form. I think scoring 4 or 5 goals over his last 5-6 game weeks for Arsenal, and someone that might be a really nice differential against Southampton in 38. Next up is Brian Mbeumo. I think a staple in a lot of people's sides these days, and probably not too interesting a pick. Obviously on penalties. Obviously Brentford still playing for the Europa League, Conference League spots. Wolves a nice fixture, if not too easy. And Mbeumo still a nice pick for me. Aston Villa, as mentioned, probably one of the best fixtures against United. Not focused on the league. Rodgers, potentially John McGinn as a bit of a differential, or Asensio, I think are all valid picks for this game week. Rodgers obviously has the most minutes. McGinn as well, probably a little bit I prefer to Asensio given his minutes. And then Asensio for that potential of penalties and that creative spark in the attacking midfield role. Finally, on my Tier 1 buy list, I do have Kevin De Bruyne of Manchester City. His final game, most likely, for Manchester City. And I hope he can go out with a bang for them. Fantastic player and always potentials for hauls. In the Tier 2 buy section, I do have Bukayo Saka. For me, he's probably not a buy. I have included him here. If you are confident that he is going to start for Arsenal, maybe you have a little bit more insider Arsenal knowledge. But I just don't think he can make his way into Tier Y due to the potential for him just not playing. Next up is Anthony Elanga. I think second favourite option after Gibbs White for Nottingham Forest. Again, great on the counter. And obviously Forest needing to score against Chelsea and win the game this week. Eberechi Eze is my next pick on here. I still really like Eze. I expect Glasner to field still a reasonably strong side in game week 38 against Liverpool. Given Liverpool's defence has been so shoddy of late, I think if you've got Eze, definitely don't be selling him. If you don't have him, I would actually consider buying him in for game week 38. He's been in a fantastic run of form for Palace, and fresh off the back of an FA Cup win, he will be flying. Next up is Kluivert. He's been struggling for a few minutes. That's why he doesn't really move up into the Tier 1 buy section. But with Bournemouth having Leicester in the final game week, I think he could still be an option, as well as being on penalties for them, potentially as a differential. Thomas Souček, another bit of a left-wing pick for me. Recently, you've really seen him doing what he did at the beginning of the season, trying to get into the box more, trying to be a bit more of a dynamic midfielder, and really popping up in some key areas for West Ham and causing problems. Headers on target, being in the right place at the right time, definitely could be a really nice punt or differential pick for someone for game week 38. And finally, just for those of you that follow my channel and are on all the live streams, the GOAT himself, Mohamed Kudus. If you don't follow my live streams, probably don't pick him. In the sell section, we do have Bruno Fernandes. Just get rid of him. He's probably not going to play in game week 38. Not too much to talk about there. Reminder for you guys, if Kudus does score, we will be doing a giveaway to a subscriber. So make sure you're subscribed down below so you don't miss out. The GOAT of FPL might help you out. On to the forward line, and in my Tier 1 buy category, we do have Ollie Watkins, fantastic fixture for Villa, Yohan Wissa, brilliant form at the moment, Erling Haaland, just a guy who can get you so many goals, and finally Evan Nielsen of Bournemouth with a nice fixture against Leicester with potentially European places to play for. In the Tier 2 buy, we have Chris Wood needing to score for Nottingham Forest. Danny Welbeck and João Pedro is a bit of a differential for Brighton, still playing for those European slots. And Strand Larson of Wolves, given Cunha's likelihood to be moving, although he does make it in there as well as a Tier 2 buy. In the sell category, pretty much everyone else. Isak with the injury. Mamouche, see you later. Mateta, see you later. Jackson, see you later. Gakpo, definitely see you later. Jimenez, see you later. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Remember to subscribe down below if you do want to be in with a chance for the giveaway in Game Week 38 and beyond that. Check out my new merch store at Fourth Wall. There will be some football fan merchandise, which is really cool. You can take a look at. If there's anything else you would like to see in the store that isn't in there, please comment down below. Let me know. I am still in the design phase right now, so happy to include some of your designs in there. Have a great game week, everyone. This has been your English Aussie, and I will catch you later, everyone. Cheers, guys.